We got the vibe, we got the flow. Jeff Foxx, taking you behind the mic, keeping you in the know. Where the real stories are told, where the truth and the soul unfold. Now you know, it's the Jeff Foxx Show. Behind the Mic podcast.
Hey everyone, I am Lindsey Webster, and I hope you enjoy this episode of the Jeff Foxx Show, Behind the Mic podcast.
Hi, Lindsey.
Hi. Thanks for having me for an interview.
Oh, no. I got to do your real big intro because you got to hear about yourself if you didn't know about yourself. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, the Jeff Foxx Show Behind the Mic podcast always brings you the best engaging conversation with the world's most talented artist. My guest today is a powerhouse in the world of R&B, jazz, soul. Her voice is both smooth and captivating. She's made history. She's topped the charts and continues to deliver music that feels good and hits the heart. She's a wonderful person. Please welcome the incredibly talented Lindsey Webster.
Wow, thank you. Thanks for the intro.
It's great, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. I'm going to record that and bring it on my tour and play that at the beginning of
That's wonderful. You know, I just talked to a close friend of mine, Tony Gray, who has the jazz station in New Orleans, WNOZ.
Sure.
And I said, and I'm going to talk to Lindsey. He said, oh, tell her. I said, hi. She's so wonderful. So everywhere you go, you just leave the wonderfulness. Did you know that about yourself?
Oh, that's sweet.
Where are you from, Lindsey?
Well, I grew up in Woodstock, New York.
Really?
Yeah. So it's about 2 hours north of New York City. And yeah, I grew up here until I was about 14, and then we did some moving around. I lived in New York City for a little while. You know, in my adult life, I've actually ended up back here, which is pretty cool.
You back in Woodstock?
Yeah.
What's it like up there? You know, when you say Woodstock, I automatically think about the big concert in '69. Do they still talk about that?
Oh, yeah, of course. The original festival that you're talking about it was supposed to happen here, but it turned into a big thing. They had to move it because there was going to be too many people.
Where did they move it to again?
In Bethel, New York. So it's like 65 miles from here.
Okay.
So a little over an hour. So it's not too far.
That's a good little hump.
It's great growing up here. There's so many artistic types around. You've got artists and you've got poets and you've got, sculptors and musicians, and you have everything here. So it was very great to grow up here because it kind of made that all so like achievable to me,
Right.
Like the creativity, it was always around. People are big dreamers around here.
Have you always been a creative person and you love being around creative people? Is that you?
Yes, I've always had a big imagination, and definitely gravitated towards like-minded people in that way. And growing up in Woodstock, I feel like I already had it in me, but then growing up here even helped facilitate it even more,
At what point did you say, the music, I've got to do music? Did you always sing? Do you play an instrument? What's your musical background?
It's kind of all the above. I was talking about this just earlier. Like, you remember those infomercials that used to like sell those big like disc sets, and they'd have like little samples of like songs. It would be like,
yes, Ronco.
yeah. So like I would literally like memorize the commercial and like know what song was coming next.
Did you?
Yeah, my parents first noticed. They were like, wow, like you really have a good ear. Like you memorize the commercial like it's a song in itself. So yes, I have just always gravitated towards humming. I think as a kid, I was just like humming along. Then I started singing along, and the interest stayed, and it just kept growing, and it's become my whole life now. So quite wonderful.
What is that moment that made you say, wow, as a professional person, when you've had this success and you hit the charts, and your first single was Fool Me Once. But what was that moment that made you say, wow, this is really happening? Was that it?
That was the moment because, we've been working hard up until then, but had not really like any big break like that. We'd done some really cool stuff, collaborated with some cool people and did some great videos in London. And we'd been doing some great shows, but, that really put us over the top because then all of a sudden you're getting played, festivals all across the country because, when I got on the radio, we had never had any music on the radio either. So.
What'd that feel like?
Oh my God. I mean, it's just, you're watching your dreams come true. It's kind of surreal,
Is
really,
it?
Yeah, it still is.
It is,
Like,
right?
yeah, like we've had a lot of really cool little milestones already with music and me, and the feeling really doesn't change because I think I'm always just so amazed that things keep happening. It's like you don't expect it, you know what I mean? Like in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, will I ever write a good song again? Like,
Yeah.
or at least that's how I am. I can't speak for everyone, but I feel like you don't always know that it's given, and it does. I remain like just so astounded every single time we get, a song on the radio or a song charts on Billboard, or, even like with this album, like Anthony Hamilton joining us, Stokely.
Yeah.
That all still like amazes me that we have come so far. We've made it to the level where we have icons like those two, and plus all the incredible musicians.
What's it like working with Anthony Hamilton and Stokely? I mean, what's that collaboration like?
Very easy. Like for Anthony's song, he recorded his remotely, so we didn't get to work together per se, but we have worked together, like done some live stuff, and he's just awesome. He's super down to earth, really friendly, really chill, really great guy. And Stokely we got to work a little more personally with because he also played drums on the album.
Yeah, that's Stokely.
Yeah. So getting to know him and spend a few days with him working alongside him was great because, like I mentioned, these guys are like icons. And so then when you get working with them and you realize how humble they are and how they're just artists themselves, it's like there's no guard up. In terms of Stokely and Anthony, they're both very humble, both very gracious, and gave huge compliments, when they heard the finished product. Yeah, it was wonderful. Really great working with those guys.
When you work remotely, sometimes you get their voice and they get your voice, but it's all, through the technology. How do you get inside of that and get to the realness, even though the person is not there? A lot of folks need to know that because they don't know. How do you sing a song with someone with so much feeling? They ain't there. How does that work as an artist? Explain that to the folks.
I haven't really actually thought about that too much, like how different it would have been if we were able to be in the studio together. But, being what it was, and he's super busy and I'm bouncing all around, we couldn't get it together to be in the same room. But I think that any true musician and such a professional like Anthony, regardless of if you're in the same room, you're still going to put your heart into it. I listened to what he did and it was easy to do with him, because like I would take certain lines and add a harmony on them, to make it sound more cohesive, more like it was parts that we worked out and everything. I don't think it affected how the song will turn out. It was just a different way of coming about doing it.
It's just a different way to get to the same destination.
Yeah. And, hopefully like the next time around, like we'll be able to do some in-studio stuff, like with whoever we collaborate.
Isn't it wonderful how you make a song, you're not there, but at some point in time, you may perform it live on stage together. Do you look forward to that moment?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, when you write music, which your music is very personal, are you creating from real life experiences?
Yeah, I most of the songs on this album are just observations, personal observations. Like they're not all like these personal like life accounts. Like what is meant to be, I mean, I guess it kind of is, but it's more like observations. Like people will tell you all day long like what you should do or what they think is best for you, but like really only you know that at the end of the day, like after everything that you've been through.
Right.
No one walks in your shoes. Like they could never understand what really is best for you. That's what is meant to be is about. It's just more of like observations. And then there's a song like The Truth Is Never Told, which I could relate to it, but it's not about me. It's actually about a close person in my life. And she was going through like this situation where she was engaged to this guy.
Right.
And then he just kind of like called it off and it was sudden. And she was like, what the hell? And
right.
Oh, sorry. Are we cursing on this show?
No, that could work. That works.
And so she was so frustrated and I was frustrated. So like I channeled what she was going through into that song. But it's also interesting because a lot of times these songs, I feel like they're gifts from above. Like I feel like I'm just relaying a message that already exists. So when I hear music, there's a melody that fits and I somehow I have an ear where I'm like, oh yeah, that's the melody that goes. Like
right.
And to me, sometimes it feels like so easy. Sometimes it's not. But, the song is like good when it's flowing and it's easy. And it's when you're struggling with the song, like there are so many songs over the time, that haven't seen the light of day that I tried writing, but it was just not quite there. But I also think like you kind of have to go through those songs too and just get them out of you.
Now, if you're sleeping, I used to hear this, you're sleeping and you come up with an idea for a song or a melody. Do you wake up and get to your phone and put a voice record or you jot something down so you don't lose the idea? How do you keep your creative process going. Creativity can come at any time, any place, anywhere.
Yeah. So thank God for these iPhones. You got the voice memo on there.
Oh, yeah.
So like, but before that, I had like a tape recorder. I don't really get it so much like in the middle of the night or when I'm sleeping or like any of that. It's like when I'm driving, I'll come up with ideas, or like if I'm out for a run. Like for instance, a lot of these lyrics were written just when I was like running, because I would be listening to the instrumentals.
Okay.
And just like listen over and over. You kind of like let the music process, and then like the lyric will come to you in a random time, like when I'm in the grocery store. And so I'll just like take out my notes or my voice memo and just record it into there so I don't forget,
Nice. You run a lot?
Yeah.
Distance? You get out, how many miles do you run? Do you run every day?
Like the other day I did 5.5.
You did?
Yeah, but some people that's like nothing, you know what I mean?
How do you guys do that?
Well, your body becomes pretty resilient. You would think that like, oh man, like your knees would hurt and all this stuff.
Right.
But if you run with proper form, and then like you take care to stretch and take care of your body in between and recover and stuff, you just become resilient. I've been running for over 15 years now.
Wow. Do you do marathons and stuff like that?
No. Oh my gosh. No, that's not for me. I like to run to kind of meditate and to move my energy and to just, I don't know, gets my blood flowing. If I'm feeling like in a weird mood and I go for a run, it just helps clear my energy.
And that conditioning helps you when you're performing on stage, doesn't it?
Not to mention that. Running is so multifaceted in positive ways. I just love it so much.
That's great.
Yeah, having the cardio, being able to walk and sing and maybe do a little run over here on stage, it definitely is helpful.
When they see you running on stage, they have no idea.
Yeah. I watched Beyonce interview, or I saw a clip of her, and she told the interviewer that her dad used to just have him run and sing. Ever since I heard that, I was like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
If you could do both, you're really giving a good performance without being winded.
Yeah. So I try to focus. Like, I won't do it every run, but there are times when I'm like, all right, I'm going to run and sing today.
It all comes to that performance, what you do on stage, and the whole creative process. It's kind of like through those routines, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Now, you've built a real strong following in the smooth jazz world. Now, did you expect to connect with that audience the way you have?
No, I had no idea. I didn't even know that our music even fit into that genre. Like before Fool Me Once, we always would kind of say like, well, people would say, oh, what kind of music do you do? We would call it soul jazz.
Soul jazz.
I knew what smooth jazz was and everything, but I was like, well, we're not like anything like Kenny G or anything like that, Meanwhile, little did I know that smooth jazz is a gigantic world filled with diverse artists.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Like, look at Jeff Lorber.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there are so many incredible artists. Smooth jazz is a beautiful umbrella that like can really take in a lot of different types of jazzy artists, Yes, you can have the Kenny G's of the world, but then you have Jazz Funk Soul, and then you have Brian Culbertson, and then you have someone like me. Look at those artists right there. That's such a diverse group just alone, but we're all in the smooth jazz world.
What's that lifestyle like? I always thought the smooth jazz lifestyle is such a great lifestyle because you do a lot of festivals, outdoor concerts, and everybody's chilling in their lawn chairs, or you go to do the cruises, and the vibe is laid back, the music is cool. And
it is.
It just seems like it's a real wonderful lifestyle to be a performer, a smooth jazz performer. Can you break down the lifestyle? What's it like when you're traveling and doing tours?
It's a really great circuit of people that we get to work with and be around. I haven't dabbled too much in other genres. There's like a calmness and it is.
That's
and
what I mean.
And it's like with the promoters too. It's like the fans, the promoters, the people. It's
everybody
like,
laid back, right?
You're totally right. You're right on. The fans, our fans are so diehard. These people pay good money. They travel all around, like they don't care. Probably most of them are retired. I mean, I know a lot of people are still working, but I'll tell you, if I retired and I had some money in the bank, I'll probably do the same thing. Just go follow my favorite artists and go on cruises and go to cool festivals and travel.
Nice.
I feel like it's a really unique kind of setup the way it is with like the smooth jazz world. I do. I'm so grateful for it. Like, because like I was saying, there isn't really a genre for exactly what we do. And so the smooth jazz world really embraced us and gave us a platform, gave me a platform because we didn't have that.
Once again, tell the folks about the new project and what can we look forward to hearing from Lindsey Webster.
Brand new album out. It came out February 27th, so it's still a baby in the world. It took a good amount of time to make, and that was because I needed to have some life experiences. I had to process some things, and then I had time to write about it. It's typically, I'm not like a type of person who like somebody like does something bad and then I go write a song about it, or something bad happens. Like even my arguing style, like if I have a disagreement with someone, like,
how do you argue, Lindsey? What do you do?
I'll tell you right now. If I have a disagreement with someone and they say something,
right?
But because I've done this too many times, where you react with like your initial emotion and
Right.
you regret it.
Right.
Like, so I've really learned that if I'm having a kind of a disagreement with someone, I really need to take some time. I need to like think about it
before you react.
Yeah. Because when you're upset, you can't really rely on what your emotions are telling you.
Exactly.
I'm a ponderer. I think about stuff a lot. I'm probably like to a fault, an analyzer, an overanalyzer. I feel like I needed that time to kind of let these lessons and these things that happen in my life take shape in an emotionally more mature way, to kind of like let it out. One of the songs on the album is called Eternal Angel. And, I know a lot of my followers already know that my husband and I, we were expecting a baby. And when I was 6 months pregnant, we lost him.
Oh.
And this was one of the most devastating things anyone can experience in their life. And I'm just a sensitive person anyway. And it was just incredibly difficult. And it took a long time to feel like myself again. And during that time, I wasn't writing anything. I was going through so much. Plus, my musical partner was also dealing with losing his dad, Keith Slattery.
Yeah.
So he wasn't writing. I wasn't writing. It felt like I wasn't a singer all of a sudden. It was so weird. It was like I would sit down to write and I would just be so stuck. I had to experience these things and process them. And it just took some time. I'm praying between now and the next album, I don't have to process too much. Please. But for this album, it did. It took time. But honestly, I listened to it. And I still love it. Any musician, pretty much will probably tell you, I'm so tired of the album by the time it's out, because we, as the musicians creating it, have already heard each song about 1,500 times at least. And people, then if it's finally released and most people are like, oh, I hate that album, I don't want to hear it ever again, But this album, I still really love it. I'm very proud of this one. It feels like the best representation of myself on an album yet.
Well, we're excited about your project. We're happy that you're coming back to your creativity, and we're excited about your tours. Are you traveling anywhere soon so folks can see you?
We're going to be all around. We're going to head out to Detroit. We go down to Florida for the Seabreeze Jazz Festival. Then we go the next day, we head over to Texas and do a show with Michael Lincoln.
Nice.
Yeah.
When you're coming to New York.
Oh my gosh, we're coming to New York. I feel like it's June 24th. We're playing the Iridium.
See you there.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, we're coming to New York City. First time since COVID.
We'll see you there. Lindsey, you are a wonderful person, a tremendous artist. Thank you for your time. We wish you all the best in life and all that you do. Please stay in touch, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
I tell you, Lindsey Webster, she's amazing. And thank you so much for checking out this episode of the Jeff Foxx Show Behind the Mic podcast. And remember, you can also check out the nationally syndicated Jeff Foxx radio show, bringing you the best of music, culture, and conversation every day. You can also stream us online. Just look for the Jeff Foxx Show affiliates and pick your station. And I'm also happy to let you guys know my new album is now available. It's called Variations. Oh, yes. Check this out. What's up? It's Jeff Foxx. Now, you know that perfect song when you're driving, windows down, just cruising. That's what Variations is all about. That's my brand new album, Variations. It's a musical journey through melody, mood, and imagination. I'm going to have you jamming with this cut one day at a time. Variations will have you grooving with this one, After the Dream. My brand new album, Variations, is available now. It's perfect for driving, relaxing, late night chill. Download your copy now. Go to bandcamp.com or hit me on my Facebook page, Jeff Foxx Show, for more information. And get Variations.